today to thank them for their 50 years of service to the Mahaska County Sheriff's Office. Both of them have worked under 5 different sheriffs here in Mahaska County. Harold Vanderpool, who my understanding was really didn't give them a choice back in the day. They were told you got to join. Wish the sheriff still had that kind of power, you know. They worked under Harold. They worked under Joe Beal. They worked under Charlie Van Torn and Paul DeGeest and myself.
And
Ron Tucker was in there.
And Ron Tucker. If you, just to give you a comparison on what 50 years is, I have a lot of current deputies tell me how old I am. I was 7 years old when these guys joined the posse. Okay? Of course, they were both very young when they joined as well. So, thank you for coming here. We're going to make a small presentation, just small tokens of our appreciation. On behalf of the 5 sheriffs I talked about, the dozens and dozens of past and current deputies that these two have helped over 50 years, but mostly because of all the past citizens, past and current citizens, and visitors to Mahaska County. I honestly think we all owe these 2 gentlemen, Verlin and Dennis, a huge debt of gratitude. Thank you both for everything you've done for us. We have just a few small tokens here that I'm going to present to them. And this isn't just the sheriff or the sheriff's office. We have many members of our the posse board here. This is a joint effort between the sheriff's office and the posse board. We have, these are challenge coins, and they're 25-year coins, okay? If you read the article that was in the media recently, we honored some other recipients, other posse members, not with this many years on, so for every 25 years they've served, they've earned one of these. I'm going to give each of them 2 for the 2 sets of 25. A long time down the road, it might come in handy because I understand they both have 2 kids apiece also. In addition to these 2 gentlemen, that brings up the last point I make. It isn't just these 2 we need to thank, it's their family members, okay? If you think about Andrea and Margene, Mike and Eric, and Cindy and Mindy, coming from a law enforcement family, it's not just these 2 who made all the sacrifices over the years. You can ask their kids how many nights did they spend at home without dad there because they were out helping the sheriff's office. So, I'll give each of you 2 of these.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Russ.
And then we have, I'm going to present each of them with a wall plaque commemorating their start with the Sheriff's Posse in 1973. Verlin, this one's yours.
Thank you.
Dennis, this is yours.
Thank you, Russ.
Give each a certificate of appreciation signed by Board President Brad Boonder and myself for their 50 years of service. That's yours. Verlin, this is yours.
Thank you again.
And then we have one last gift. We double checked these. They are not loaded. We have one Henry Arms rifle to present to each of them, and it'll be up to them what they do with those.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's that?
That's right, Tommy have it. We'll do it later.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Don't rush off. We don't want no food left here, so. Go ahead, Dennis, your turn to talk.
Well, there's 50 years went awful fast. And when I got in 50 years ago, my boys are pretty small, and like Russ said, we took off, you know, you called, you just took off. And that day you didn't have much choice. Harold Vanderbilt called, he said, I'll be there in 10, 15 minutes, he's ready. No matter what, you just took off, put your uniform on, you took off. You wouldn't accept no. Races, you know, children lost, county farm, drownings, you know, a lot of things, wrecks, we helped patrol on and, you know, stop, I don't know, just a lot of stuff. Verlin and I went in the same year, and along with Bill DeGuy and Bob Scepter went in with me. Bill's deceased, Bob's quit the posse a number of years ago. Other than that, you know, Andrea probably didn't care for the time they took off all the time, but it just happened. It's the only organization I ever belonged to. I'm proud to be a member of it. I enjoyed the races, so I went to a lot of races, probably only missed 20 races in 40 years. So, yeah, other than that, don't know what else to say, I guess. There's been a lot of sheriffs, a lot of change. You know, from Harold Vanderpool would be locked up today if he was sheriff. Locked up. Couldn't do what he did, so a lot of change. We had a rodeo years ago. That was a lot of fun, a lot of work. Verlin put in a lot of work. Leave home, that took about a week to put that on, cleaning up every day, and the wives helped at the rodeo. They done the cooking in a neat area. You can ask my wife how neat it was, how safe. Cords running through water and all. They all, you know, cooked the hamburger and sold popcorn, and a lot of fun. Yeah. Don't know what else to say unless anybody have any questions.
About you, Verlin, got anything to say?
I don't have any more to say than what Dennis has said.
Verlin taught me all the bad things I know.
First of all, you can't teach this stuff. But I just want to thank y'all for the general public for as well as you've always accepted us. And there was times when it was an effort to do what we did, but it was very rewarding. And I want to thank y'all for coming today. So long.
No, that's good. Yeah. Tell you, Verlin and I done a lot of transporting together, out of state. Done some flying, done a lot of driving. Drove all over the United States. I mean, 2-3 nights out. Verlin tried to keep me straight. Kind of a rough job for him, but he tried. First place we flew to was Portland, Oregon. On transport. To Beaver, Utah, that was a big run.
Those are called.
Yeah.
Good beaver.
Yeah, it was quite a big run. Went to Phoenix. We've been all over. The wife went with me a couple times flying. She went 11 years. Rode with me as a juvenile or a female. She went with me 11 years when I couldn't get anybody else to go. She enjoyed it all. Well, maybe not quite all of it. I can say she did.
One thing that's changed just a little bit about the posse is, years ago when I came to town, there was 2 days out of the month I knew exactly what the date was by listening to the police radio. Because back in the day, you go back 35, 40 years ago, every posse member was required to ride one shift per month. And most of them, especially these two, I knew if Dennis was riding, it was the 16th of the month. And if Verlin was riding, it was the 17th, because I'd hear them on the radio. That's their P numbers, their badge numbers, P16 and P17. So.
And we rode every month. You hardly missed a night. I mean, done a lot of riding. Went through a lot of deputies. Scott Miller lived right next door to me, so I tried to straighten him up. Scott rode with me very little. We had about the first run Scott went with me, had about a 6 or 7 hour wait. And I was sitting, he said, I'm never riding with you again. I don't think he did.